Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I would like to welcome you to next Industry 5.0 keynote speech. We will see how Industry 5.0 grow from roots to blossoms. My name is Mike Rada. I am human, and I'm the founder of Industry 5.0. Before we start, I would like to take you to the school in your education time, where you have learned about this formula E equal mc squared, delivered and presented for the first time by Albert Einstein in 1905. But have you ever thought that you can take this formula out of the physics and apply it in a different way? What about efficiency? Efficiency is management time competency square. But it's even better. You can apply it to economy, which is money times corruption square, or environment where competency play again a major role, or education where human and consistency is important. I just opened your eyes. I revealed to you the on-the-ground minds, its beauty, something which is frequently overlooked because of silos and professional blindness. We frequently need just a little to open our eyes. And this is why education is so important. And my question is, do you use on-the-ground minds properly? Please think about it, but I will ask you two more questions. The first one is who we are, because we have many titles. We are managers, presidents, chairmen. We are students, managers, producers, teachers, fathers, and mothers. We have many titles, but we forgot one, that we are human beings. Living ones, not like this man on County Art of Pilsen Brewery. And if we know who we are, let me ask you the second question, where do we live? Because we live in beautiful cities like Roubaix in France, like Pilsen, and this is the building in which Industry 5.0 was born and from which I'm speaking to you right now, or Paris, Brussels. We live in beautiful cities which we fill with trash. We work in factories which produce in one day more trash than a city in a month. We produce products which frequently, before reaching the end user, become trash as well, and we store them in big metal houses, calling for more big metal houses to be built to store our waste inside. And at the end of our shift, we leave next to the output of our production and arrive home. And when our eyes are open, we will recognize that something what was called food before is called bio-waste today. And we look at the red sky above our heads, asking ourselves, where do we live? This question will be answered today by me and much more. But before doing that, let me explain Industry 5.0 to you. Industry 5.0 is the first industrial evolution ever led by man, by human. It's built on the principles of systematic waste prevention. And in fact, it represents and restores the missing link between nature and human-built ecosystem. Industry 5.0 identifies and prevents 5 types of waste: physical, social, urban, process, and wasting of time. All these can be prevented. All these represents on-the-ground mines, and all can deliver results without the need of capital investment. This is what Industry 5.0 is. How Industry 5.0 and when it reached India? In fact, it was already on August 21st, 2020. And I'm honored to be the man who started the age of Industry 5.0 in India with one and only speech on CII conference, the biggest event of that year. After that event, more than 1 million follow-ups came. The biggest companies in India asked me to give them workshops and webinars on Industry 5.0, which I did. On October 14th, the world's first Industry 5.0 ambassador was assigned in India. And 5 months later, European Commission integrated Industry 5.0 in a European Sustainable Development Framework. The fact is that in 2022, Indian companies, organizations, individuals, startups, universities has been the one who used the term Industry 5.0 most all over the globe. And in November 2023, the government of Kerala integrated Industry 5.0 in the 9-section strategy. What is the existing reality? I was born on December 24th, 1971. At the day, our planet was called Blue Marble. But in 2019, something strange happened because the planet was not blue anymore. It lost its blue face. But in 2021, something very strange happened because the blue face show up again, not because we changed our behavior, but because virus locked us down. And what we do to the planet? What we do to the orbit? We have sent there more than 170 million pieces of space debris, which make a global landfill around our planet. And the planet itself, we dig inside, hunting for more, because more become the only criteria of success. More money, more people, more companies, more cars, more houses, more. Ask Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, Bill Gates. Ask many who live all around the globe, including India, how they get to the Fortune 500 ladder. We are living on a planet together with 8 billion people already. The country with the biggest population is for several months already India. But very few knows that 200 years ago on our planet lived just 1 billion people, and 100 years later it was just 1.5, which means in 100 years 50% increase, but in the last 100 years there is 5 times more people living on a planet. And in 2050, some predicts there will be 11 billion people living on our planet. And please remember the last image I showed you. We are living here in 206 countries according to UN 193. We are riding 1 billion cars, speaking 7,000 languages, and we let 9 million people yearly die hungry, despite of the fact that we throw away every single day more than 23 million tons of food and crop. We let 800,000 people die thirsty, despite of wasting more than 347 million liters of drinking water every single day just by the California crude oil industry. We plant our food, throw it away because the leaves are not green enough for the buyer in a chain store. We put our overproduction in the rivers and on the landfills not to spoil the market price. We carry our water in firefighting tanks, not knowing that the same amount of water is needed to produce just one and single hamburger. And we do it on a planet where one sip of water can save not 1, but 2 lives. We work in factories which store obsolete packaging on a parking lot for employees, waiting till it becomes waste. The same companies have walls lined with environmental certificates, but behind the walls they create landfills. We throw away on a landfills goods which has 1 issue on 10 meters, despite the fact these can serve hundreds and maybe thousands of others. We listen to the words of World Bank, which says that till 2050 the waste volumes will grow. In some destination it will even double. In the same report, you can read that almost everything can be reused or repurposed, but in fact, only 13.5% is being reused or repurposed. This is what makes the waste industry the third most profitable industry in the world, following the war industry and the crude oil industry. When I started to work closely with India and with the ambassador in India, we considered to implement a new way of education. We call it the GAR-H academy, connecting the English term and with the term from India. Imagine a factory in which students can practice what they have learned and come back to the school where they can give the results, share it with the teachers, share it together, creating the unity, because there are three principles which are kept in every single Industry 5.0 project. And this is transparency, profit sharing, and efficiency. And this is why Industry 5.0 changed the mindsets from wasteful to wasteless. We need to get back to roots, because we are living in a cities built by people who already left. We are feeding ourselves thanks to the knowledge of those people. We are able to explain relations that never been explained before. And when we create new tools, then we say that they will work better than the old ones. We are repeating at the same time the quotes and formula which are centuries old, and we do forget that what was done centuries before, we do apply now. The aim of education is to improve the ability to learn and understand. It should wake up humans, not system components, and turn curiosity into driving force of development, creating communication ability, not monologue. Strengthen society through knowledge transfer. Cut out addiction on dependence on technology. Why? Because digital is full of waste. Did you know that 85 to 90% of all data stored in data centers will be never used again? Have you know that 75 or 85% of the images you take on your mobile phone you will never look at again? Do you know that 95% of data from a barcode reader are not utilized, just collected? 75% of mobile phone users with a weather app in their mobile does not look out of the window when you ask them what is the weather, but they look on the screen. When the electric shutdown will come, all data will be immediately lost, or the access to this data. Did you know that LinkedIn, for example, allows to analyze only 2 years old work of yours? We have made big mistake in the past. We built our future on the top of pyramid, not understanding that the pyramid has not been built for the living ones to live inside, but to store the corpses inside. When I realized that, I decided that we need another groundstones, and I start to build it. Must be much more stable, so I call it 6R. And even if the world will shake, this groundstone will be stable. How does it work? It's not easy, because firstly you have to recognize that something must not become waste, and trust me, that's really hard if you wasted before. But the second step is even harder, because you have to reconsider what you will do with the item which you just saved from being wasted. You will fail for the first, third, second, fifth time. But when you succeed, you start to change the world. Students must become leaders with the understanding of the role of human in the nature and with nature. The perfection of the imperfection. Not smart, but wise should be these students, because they will understand that technology is a tool, but should never, ever become a rule. And the fact that education never ends and can be shared with all Education institutes, in fact, have no walls, and teachers and students must communicate in co-creation the content and the lessons. The true harmony is in unity, because not in theory but in practice, the results would build up skills. In Industry 5.0, the leaders would be grown up. They are able to lead, become the role models. And this is how they become stronger, more influential. Material and economical stability and sustainability will help. Curiosity, creativity, openness, loyalty, humanity are the principles to follow. The Garage Academy is here to help to establish this. And please do understand, it's not the growth, but this is the growth is what makes us strong. I was asked many times, Mr. Ada, what are the costs and the benefits? So the cost of transformation, it's no financial. It's just the will to change. Change the mindset from wasteful to wasteless. We have to value questions, not the answers. The price on national level of the change is $1 per citizen per year in a duration of 10 years. The only question is your government ready to pay this? Preventing waste happen, breaking the silos, leading by humans which are supported by the government, cutting the addiction of technology and power. All this together create a value which in 2019 was estimated to 475 trillion US dollars a year. But in fact, this value is no more valid because in 2022 it reached over 1 quadrillion US dollars because of the war in Ukraine. I have spent 8 years to write a document which was never needed in a human history. It's called the Waste Prevention Framework. And here it is. Because nothing that can be used or utilized again must become waste. Everything must be considered primary as a pre-waste existing resource and remain in the system. The secondary use or utilization is not limited to primary function. It can be applied by anyone respecting the safety regulations and conditions. Collecting, sorting, baling, and trade are not being considered secondary utilization anymore. And if not utilized on a primary location, it must be offered to others before being wasted. Dear ladies and gentlemen, please understand one. There is no waste if we do not waste. You can check it, same as I did. But not a single legislation in the world defines how waste is created, so it must be part of this framework. Because wasting is a process in which product or material of any kind and volume become waste. In fact, wasting is a system failure and must be prevented first without any limitation and restriction. And please understand, wasting is not a feature of a product or material, but the result of human behavior. And single use is one of the most frequent types of wasting. As I mentioned at the beginning, there are 5 waste categories: physical waste, social waste, urban waste, process waste, and the wasting of time. And the last is very special because not a single second wasted can be taken back. Industry 5.0 is the first industrial evolution ever led by man, by human. It's changed the mindset of people and businesses from wasteful to wasteless. It delivers results without the need of capital investment, is based on the principles of systematic waste prevention, and utilize the existing on-the-ground mines. And the 3 principles to follow are transparency, profit sharing, and efficiency. And please understand, Industry 5.0 is not a sales tool or a product. Dear ladies and gentlemen, we are living in digital age. And it looks like that after our education, after our leisure time, after our work, the only missing to be digitalized is human himself. But if we do so, our world will look like this. And this is not a mistake because data don't need any light. I recognized this back in 2013 and I decided to build another world, wasteless world. And don't worry, I am not alone. My name is Michael Rada. I am human. And together with me today, 118 Industry 5.0 ambassadors in 118 countries represents and implement Industry 5.0 principles to help everyone to live meaningful life. Before I end, let me remind you of one fact. The giants start to shrink when the humans start to grow. Have a nice time free of waste and wasting in all its forms. Stay safe, free, and be human. Bye-bye.